Well, welcome back to Newsnight, the Saturday edition. My name is Faith Mangope.
I'm Gareth Edwards. Crime affects all of us, but especially women and children who are still the most vulnerable.
Absolutely. So how can we protect ourselves when we are under attack? Well, we've got Thulasizwe Simelane, who spoke to self-defense instructor Angelou, who gave us some tips.
You've got to avoid at all costs. If you can see a character is looking, giving telltale signs where their palms are sweaty, they're pacing, or they're following you, whatever telltale signs that makes you uncomfortable as a lady, that's probably your best sense of avoidance. You don't want to engage. You want to stay far away from engaging anybody that makes you feel uncomfortable. So definitely what you can do is, we always say what we train at Elite Defense Academy is that you first approach to self-defense is avoidance. Second, obviously, is running away. And thirdly, is just giving them what they want before you have to actually act and defend yourself physically.
But there's no avoiding that there are instances where, you know, the attack is very much underway and you now have to fight to fend off this attacker. So in those instances, what are the things, what are the key guidelines that you can give us?
Look, you always, unfortunately, someone will end up in that situation, but the best and quickest guidelines I could give is you want to strike soft targets. So if you're in that situation, you're probably looking at the eyes, the throat, and the groin area to avert or get out of danger, that dangerous situation. So engaging with an attacker or an assailant, that's probably your best bet. Is you don't want to take on the person physically, but you want to aim directly at soft targets is what we call them, which is the eyes.
Their vulnerabilities.
100%.
And what you guys teach is that, you know, generally with us we think, you know, a clenched fist is more powerful, but I see you guys teach that an open palm is perhaps better. Perhaps you can show us some of the moves and tactics.
100%. So when we talk about attacking a hard target using a soft target, so if you're going to attack a sternum, you'd want to use maybe the fist or the palm, a hard part. If you're going to attack a soft target, being a throat or an eye, you want to use something hard, maybe knuckles, the side of your hand. And that pretty much anything hard on you is what you would attack soft on your opponent. And then obviously anything hard on your opponent, you would attack with something soft.
Oh, so it works vice versa. So
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, you wouldn't really need to attack the throat with much aggression because it's such a soft and vulnerable part of the body, the anatomy, that you could use an open hand, you could use a strike, you could use your cell phone as a defense weapon because that then relates to improvised weapons, and that's that type of stuff.
How important are those improvised weapons? I mean, I didn't know this until recently. There are a lot of ladies, when they are walking, perhaps in the early evening at dusk, sort of, you know, hang on to their keys, their car keys or house keys very closely with the idea that I could perhaps use this as a stab weapon.
100% an improvised weapon. If we can take one little step back and say we get some ladies that would carry a mace or a pepper spray. If it's not easily accessible on you, then you can't use it very quickly in a situation. So you're 100% right saying what ladies do when they carry keys or they'll hold their cell phone. They could pretty much even use their bag as a defense. If someone comes running at you with a knife, you could put your bag between you and the knife, obviously. And that's pretty much, yes, an improvised weapon. And keys, you could use them against the soft targets, as we spoke about just now.
What about, Chris, a situation where, because in a lot of these, you know, dangerous encounters, there are instances where a person is now on the floor, the person being attacked and is on the ground. Does that make you even more vulnerable, or does it present different advantages for you if, say, the attacker is standing and perhaps even leaning over to now attack you further?
100%. There are different aspects to it. So what we like to say is closest weapon, closest target. So whatever is close to you, whether the attacker is facing you or the attacker's got you or grabbing you from behind, your closest weapon, your closest target is what you'd go for. So whether you're on the floor or standing up, the principles pretty much stay the same. So that's
so I'd like to see her attacking you, well, defending herself against you. Yeah.
Well, let's look at something that you could do standing up or sitting down. It's what we call the hair gel. So this is a very common attack is when you're grabbing someone around the throat. I'm going to stand this way. This is a very common, and it's a very aggressive approach as well.
Yeah.
And obviously, Nadia's quite a petite lady, and I'm quite overwhelming, although I look it. But there's still many soft targets. The first thing you've realized is that my hands to defend myself and attack are over here. She's still got her weapons to attack and defend herself. So if you're on the floor or not, we use something called the hair gel. So just to add to this technique quickly, you want to try and drop your chin as quick as possible to avoid me getting my thumbs around the person's throat, 100%. So Nadia will demonstrate quickly what we call the hair gel, which lifts up and breaks my...
So it's over your arm and breaks your grip on her.
100%. And then she would go for the soft targets and strike however she feels fit.
How key are the knees and the elbows? Because I imagine that those will help you in a sticky situation.
100%. Again, depending on the situation. So if Nadia finds it easier to strike me in the leg with the knee, she'll take that advantage and go for it straight away.
Yeah.
The elbow is also very helpful. Depending on your distance, you don't want to throw an elbow from far away, but if you're close, you could easily throw an elbow to the throat, to the jaw. You can use an elbow just to push away. It's very uncomfortable being any type of hard object coming towards it.
What about if Nadia wants to release her hands from your grip? Say you've got her gripped like that. What does she do?
She's not going to fight my whole body, so she's not going to attack me. She's going to focus her whole body against my hand.
All right.
So we've got this nice little technique where she'll grab her own hand, she'll use her elbows to swing and break my posture.
All right.
Or my grip rather than my posture.
Because your grip, it's really about the 5 fingers that you have
100%.
Working against her entire arm.
The weak point is this part here. She's not going to fight up because then she's fighting against my whole palm, the back of my hand.
All right.
If she fights against the weak point of the hand, it's a lot easier for her to get out.
So, Chris, just as a parting shot then, the key thing is to know every person's vulnerabilities, right?
100%. When we train according to your fitness, your body shape, your style, how you actually think as well. So yes, when you fight, you are fighting using key points and elements, but if you don't train, that's why we say it's always to be proactive rather than reactive, and if you can train and fight and use your body with these basic principles.